Just ahead on American Black Journal, Detroit parents have a new tool to help determine the best fit for their child's educational needs. We'll tell you about a website that offers in-depth data on hundreds of Detroit schools. Plus, what changes can Detroiters expect on Belle Isle this summer? We'll get the inside scoop from the new managers of the island. That's all coming up next, so stay with us.
Eric wants to know.
What does DTE Energy do to make Michigan a better place?
Rodney can tell you.
We do a lot, like youth education and employment programs. We fund over 500 jobs for youth all across the state. Many are neighborhood improvement projects just like this.
It's incredible.
Wow, that is fantastic. So this is like a paint by number, this whole thing, right? Communities are such great places, aren't they?
They sure are.
Love the siding. Measure once, cut twice, right? DTE Energy. Know your own power.
Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. There's a new tool available to help Detroit parents find a quality school for their children. It's a website named greatschoolsdetroit.org. The site is produced by Excellent Schools Detroit in partnership with the national organization Great Schools. The site provides local and national data on school performance. Here to talk about this new partnership is Armin Ratchian, who's from Excellent Schools Detroit, along with Charlonda Buckman of the Detroit Parent Network. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Thanks for having us.
So I'm a parent in Detroit, got two kids in schools in the city. Obviously, I can see the immediate value of something like this. I guess my question is, how do we get parents to know how to use it and that the value in it is going to help them make better choices?
Well, we have hundreds of education options for kids in Detroit, from pre-K all the way through high school.
Way more than we used to.
Maybe more than we need.
Yeah, right. Well,
yeah, maybe way
right.
more.
Lots of
and
options.
there's 20,000 empty seats in Detroit schools now. Yeah.
And we have done very little to help parents navigate all those options. And so when the coalition came together a few years ago, they recognized that information, just simple, relevant, timely information in parents' hands would be vital to make sure school choice works in Detroit.
Right.
So this is the evolution of that process, getting great performance data in place, comprehensive performance data, how schools are performing, connected to a best-in-class website and tool like Great Schools. This is where we are today, and we think that parents are going to be have better information than they've ever had to make those choices.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Charlonda, I think the knock always on ideas like this is, well, that's just test scores. Those are just numbers. That doesn't really tell you about a school. But actually, this goes further than that.
Yeah, it goes
right?
a lot further than that, Stephen. It's exciting to be here to talk about a bright spot in education in Detroit.
Yeah, right. Instead of fighting about what we're doing wrong.
Absolutely.
Right?
This is one of the things I think we're going to do right. One of the things that happened is I perused the website. I was really excited because I first went to parenting dilemmas, because we know that it certainly is a dilemma raising a child and picking the right school for your kids today in Detroit. I like the tool. I think it's a very smart tool, because as I perused the parenting dilemmas, there were lots of parents who were giving comments about education choices that they were struggling with, and so gave me some additional things to think about. I also, as I scanned schools, I looked up my son's school and my daughter's school and my nieces and nephews' schools, and really looking at I was struck by the parent comments. They were very extensive, talked a lot about relationships with teachers, sometimes challenges, and so I was very drawn to that, because today as parents, we spend a lot of time talking with other parents about everything raising your children, whether it's where you take your child to the doctor or somewhere else. So parent opinion matter, but I was also encouraged because I listened to students, some who were former students, who talked about how well prepared they were when they went
Based on
to
what
those
they'd
schools.
learned.
Also found out where I definitely won't be sending my kids to. So.
Right. If you're a school in the city, or if you're an operator of schools in the city, in some ways this is your best friend, and in other ways I bet it's your worst nightmare.
That's right. I mean, parents will know, and schools, policymakers, investors, everybody's going to know now the difference between a high-performing school and a low-performing school, and we have a lot of both.
Yeah, right.
And for too long, low-performing schools have just been able to tread along, giving out free iPads, putting out flashy marketing tools, all that kind of stuff. we're going to get down to, are you teaching kids to read? Are you teaching kids math? Are you creating a safe and nurturing environment for kids? These are things that we now can measure that parents need to know. That said, I want to be really clear, all of this is possible because schools and system leaders in the city came together to make this happen as well.
Right, and they're participating.
They are participating.
In the survey. I mean, they're opening their doors, letting you come in and take a look.
Yeah, students and teachers are taking a survey produced by the University of Chicago. It's the third year we've done this survey. Because school leaders said, yes, we think this is very valuable, not just to parents, but to ourselves. And the site visit process that we lead with the coalition, where community members, parents go into schools unannounced and collect information about what they're seeing and feeling and whether this would be a good place to tell other parents to send their kids.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things we've actually gotten right in terms of how we're moving to make education, high quality education, strong for every student, is that we have created this on-ramp through the school reviews where you have lots of parents and community members who for a long time sat on the sidelines wondering, how do I help? And so this is a direct way for them to get involved and have voice in this process. I agree with our men. We have lots of schools. I always push back and say we don't have enough good schools.
Yeah.
We have just over 30 high-performing schools within the city of Detroit, and that's not good enough.
That's not enough.
I think this tool is going to help us create pathways and drive enrollment to those 30-plus schools, because that's part of the strategy. We spend a lot of time talking about the schools that don't get it right. We don't spend enough time making sure that those 30-plus aren't always threatened by all of these enrollment and recruitment tactics that actually hurt our high-performing schools. And so, to me, I think this tool is going to help us create pathways to those high-performing schools, hopefully create waiting lists so that we put the necessary pressure to help them expand and be resourced well enough to expand what they're doing
To serve
for
more
some students, to serve
families.
more students.
Yeah. You know, one of the things about the 30 high-performing schools is the diversity of management, right? You've got Detroit Public Schools on that list. You have charter schools on that list. You've got all kinds of schools, and I think that one of the things that we struggle with here is people want to talk about management. They don't want to talk about performance, right? I like public schools, and that's where I send my kids, or I like charter schools, and that's why I send my kids. This shows you that it's really about the individual school and program more than what kind of school it is.
And far too many people remain in that old fight. 20 years ago, charters versus DPS, and now EAA. Those are all adult issues about who controls schools. We know that there are great DPS schools, there are great charter schools, there are really promising EAA schools that we've seen, and there are great private schools in the city. They're equal distribution of low performing in each one of those. The conditions around schools, the talent in schools, creating an environment for parents and community to engage in school, all that stuff matters regardless of what governance system you have up here.
Right. The other interesting thing is you, we were talking about this before we started the show, you have charter operators who have great schools in their system and then low performing schools as well. So they're running both they're sort of dealing with both ends of the issue.
Yeah, there's no, like, we just need to do more of this thing. You have to do more of a lot of things.
More of lots of stuff, right?
And I think some of our charter management organizations, which are the organizations that are growing the fastest in Detroit right now, we have a handful that have ambitious goals of having more and more students. Many of those have 2 or 3 decent performing schools, maybe one high performing, and then 2 or 3 low performing. What we keep saying is, and this goes for charter authorizers, this goes DPS, EAA, don't expand until you figure out how to do this well. You don't need just more schools.
Right. We need better
a
schools.
winning proposition. I mean, that's what, first of all, Detroit Parent Network is governance neutral, so your average everyday parent really doesn't care who runs the school.
Right.
What they care about is, are their kids being educated? As Armin said, can you read? Are you matriculating successfully through the education system so that I know you're not going to end up living in my basement at the age of 18.
At 25.
Or 25, right. Exactly. And then secondly, I would say, one of the challenges that we have with this market of schools that does represent multiple governance structures is that nobody's managing the market. One of the requirements to come to the city should have been at the jump, that you have to demonstrate that you have successfully educated
Before you
children
open a school.
before you open a school.
Right.
And so that creates the nightmare that we deal with at the network in terms of helping parents navigate this space, because whether you're offering the shiny new widget this week or whatever your promo piece is,
Right.
the bottom line is, what does the data say? Even if you don't have long-term data here, are there some other places where you've demonstrated success? And I think those are the kinds of conversations that we have as a coalition member with Excellent Schools Detroit. That's the challenge that we face.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not another city in the country that has experimented with school choice in a wide open, unregulated
much as we
marketplace
have.
as much as Detroit has.
Right.
Even New Orleans gets lifted up, DC. Those don't have, they have strong controls on
They're
what we call the
controlled
supply
experiments,
side.
right,
Yeah, they are.
right.
And what we've found in the data over time is that just having school choice alone, in particular without helping parents navigate those choices,
Yeah.
right? We don't have a transportation system, so some parents can access those choices, others can't.
Right.
We don't have a common enrollment system, so we actually don't have a process in which any parent can access a school and enroll. And this information, so this, back to great schools, pairing that up with some of the other work that Excellent Schools Detroit and DPN and others have taken on, getting information. For so many years, parents were said, hey, we were told, just go make a choice, but we're not going to share anything
We're
about
not
what
going
your
to help you.
choices are,
We're not going to help you
Right.
make that choice.
But we do know, like, we don't have, school choice on its own is not going to improve.
It's not the answer, right? You got to have some sort of quality control, and that's I feel like what we've struggled with for so long. We've got about 2.5 minutes left. What are the things that need to happen to get rid of, and maybe that sounds harsh, but to sort of weed the low performers out of the market? Or is the answer to get them to improve so that they, join the ranks of the 30 outstanding schools?
I think we've done more of weighing on the side of let's get them to improve at the expense of our children.
Yeah.
At this point, when potential operators come here and talk to me, or folks who are operating schools say we want to get better, and they tell me they've been failing kids for 5 years, I'm like, the option is that you need to close.
Right.
I think in this fight, parents have to be the experts on their children's education, because we have so many dynamics. They have to use greatschoolsdetroit.org as well as some of the written tools, because let's be honest, digital divide is still a real issue here.
Sure,
and
sure.
so we'll be using some of the neighborhood parent centers as well as community hubs where parents go to make sure this information either comes to your doorstep or gets in your hands so you can use it. But we have to be the experts in our children's education and be able to
assert
navigate this
ourselves,
well, and assert our interests and our dreams coming true for our kids.
Right.
Because right now the market is not going to demand that. Parents
Right,
have to demand
right.
it.
We've got about a minute. I'll give you the last word on this.
Well, I was just going to say it's both and, right? It's parents being more equipped with better information, not just to choose schools, but to demand more quality in their current schools,
Right,
For
right.
for a parent to show up and talk to their school leader about, hey, here's what the data says. What are we doing to improve this?
Right.
But it's also, we have a lot of people making decisions about where to open and close schools and which ones to do that, and they're all doing it in isolation, right?
Right. There's not a lot of coordination there.
Yeah, there's none. And this goes for early learning programs. Why don't we have a great early learning program in every neighborhood?
Right,
That prepares kids when they step into first grade and kindergarten, they're not behind. And then how do we make sure that we have X number of early or elementary schools
Elementaries
and then high schools?
right, yeah.
And everybody's just doing this
We're a
on their own.
ways, it feels like we're a ways away from
We
it.
have better information today than we ever have to inform that conversation.
Yeah, okay. Well, great work, and it's always great to have you guys here.
Thanks for
Yeah,
having
we'll
us.
have you back soon.
Absolutely.
Just ahead on American Black Journal, we'll get the latest information on the changes taking place on Belle Isle, now that it's become a state park. That's next, right after this look at some important moments in Detroit's Black history.
I'm Ken Coleman with a look back at African American life in Detroit. This week in 2004, the Michigan House of Representatives adopted a resolution that commemorated the 25th anniversary of Cronk Gym and paid tribute to its founder, Emanuel Stewart. In 1984, legendary Motown Records singer and songwriter Marvin Gaye was killed by his father during a domestic dispute. He was 44 years old. And in 1941, the Detroit Association of Women's Clubs officially moved into its new home at 5461 Brush Street. The group was led by Dr. Rosa Gregg. These are significant events this week in Detroit's Black history. taken from the book, On This Day, African American Life in Detroit.
In February, Belle Isle officially became a state park under a 30-year lease agreement with the city of Detroit. The Michigan Department of Natural Resources is now responsible for cleaning up and managing the island, which is one of the city's most beautiful public spaces. During the recent Detroit Policy Conference, I sat down with 3 insiders at the DNR to talk about the changes Detroiters can expect on Belle Isle this summer. Here's that interview. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Thank you very much, Steve.
So I live near the island and spend a lot of time there. I have to say that already when I'm going out there with my kids, I'm noticing big differences.
Well, that's good, and that's exactly what we want. On December 10th, we kicked off with the All In for Belle Isle Day, and we started by addressing the hazardous trees, safety trees.
Yeah, you cut down a lot of dead trees.
Yeah, there's about 160 that we found that had either fallen down or were in danger of falling. We replaced a bunch of picnic table tops, re-roofed the shelter, and we also worked with a youth group to rehabilitate one of the bathrooms, all within a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, the bathrooms were a long-standing issue, that the public bathrooms on the island aren't open most of the time.
That's right, and that's one of our big goals, is to have a clean, safe park, and one of those is to get the bathrooms back in shape, so by summer they'll be going along as one of the very core things we believe that needs to be done.
Yeah. Mike, how does Belle Isle compare to the other kinds of parks that DNR manages around the state?
Well, the biggest difference with Belle Isle is it's totally urban.
Yeah, well, right.
Right in a large metropolitan city, we don't really have any properties that fit that description.
And so what kind of challenges does that present for you guys from a conservation standpoint, from a management standpoint?
Well, it really doesn't present any other challenges. Basically, we get to see if the techniques and processes that we use elsewhere actually work.
Actually work in an urban environment.
Yes.
You know, we've heard lots of stories about the problems on Belle Isle before, about water leaking into the island. The island supposedly actually sinks naturally into the Detroit River and needs to be abated from that. We've got this very complex system of canals and things. Those things have not been managed that well. What are the challenges for DNR picking up the slack?
Well, the good thing is that we have a lot of partners. We have the Department of Environmental Quality. We have partners at the federal level, and we're working right now to develop assessments to figure out what is the best way to manage stormwater and the best way to get the canals back in action and make sure the island doesn't sink, and all those sorts of things, obviously, to make it managed properly, but also to make sure the waterways and all that are clean and available for use.
Yeah. Lieutenant, you guys are essentially managing the island from a law enforcement perspective now. DPD has, I think, stood down essentially on the island. Lots of people go out there in the summer. Obviously, the more people you have, the more law enforcement issues that potentially arise. There's a lot of concern, I think, among Detroiters about outsiders, quote unquote, not DPD, coming in and doing that and being sensitive to Detroiters in the way we use the island.
Right, yes, sir. Michigan conservation officers, along with Michigan State Police troopers, are now providing the law enforcement security on the island. We've been out there around the clock 24/7 since February 1st. The Detroit Police Department has, they've been redeployed back into the city of Detroit. So we have worked along with the Michigan State Police in the city of Detroit for many, many years. Our conservation officers have worked on Belle Isle, in and around Belle Isle for many, many years. Yeah. So yes, we're used to working with all citizens.
Yeah. So this is not a new phenomenon for you guys, and it won't be new for Detroiters to see conservation officers out
right.
there.
Correct.
Yeah. What kind of programming might we look forward to on Belle Isle? That's one of the things that I remember from when I was a kid, that there was more stuff to do
right.
on the island.
Well, one of the things that's kind of unique, going back to the All In for Belle Isle, we have over 40 to 50 partners that are interested in helping us. One of those are a number of groups that want to create sport leagues and use the sport fields, for example, and create a positive use of those. We have, of course, the traditional handball users, but we also want to introduce new things such as bring the canoes and kayaks back to the island. We want to make sure that the Golf Learning Center operates effectively and things like that. But also look for new opportunities, such as maybe adventure sports or other things that are trends. So we're going to have some listening sessions coming up soon, where we're going to, one of the topics among many will be recreation. And we want to hear from people as to what they'd like to do and who could help us go along and create some new and vibrant opportunities, along with the traditional things that, such as the water slide,
and the big slide,
and
the
stuff
giant
like
slide
that
slide.
that people are used to, and certainly bicycle riding and things like that.
Now, will the slide be open more? I know the giant slide's not open all the time.
We hope to have it available more than it has been, and in an effective way, and we're working towards that. Our basic thing is to make sure that the basic things that are there are going to be available for people to enjoy, and then grow into new things as we go. We want to do first things first.
Right. I think one of the things that everybody in Detroit is wondering is my family reunion going to be disrupted because of the change in management? That is probably the most common thing you see out on the island on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays during the summer.
No.
The answer is no.
No. And I can say that confidently. Everything will pretty much remain the same this year.
Yeah.
We're going to follow the pattern that the city used, and we're going to have people at the casino for the 3 days, just as normal. But next year, things will change a little bit.
How are they going to change things?
Well, you know, now you go on the 3 days in March, and you get your shelter reservation.
You register for your shelter,
You wait
right?
in line.
Yeah.
You know, come midsummer, April to midsummer, all that'll be online. And you'll be able to book your shelter reservation a year in advance if you wanted to.
Right. Okay. So that's going to work a little better for families.
Yes. And you know, you don't have to actually go online. You can pick up a phone and you can call that reservation in also.
Okay. What about the fee structure that we're going to introduce? I know that it's the same park pass that I get every year with my license plates to get into state parks anyway. But are you going to have to put like a toll booth or something on the island to regulate that?
Well, we're working on that. The way it works in other parks, we do have what we call a contact station at the other parks. But what we're really trying to do is create a way that if people, for whatever reason, didn't have a passport and wants to get one, that they can do that. But when you come on the island, that the license tab would be checked as the staff go around in the park and as you park your car. And that's the way we'll check them, as opposed to, we don't want to create gridlock on the island on a busy day and things like that.
I'm thinking cars backed up into Jefferson.
And we have some parks in the state that are very popular, and we want to make sure we don't disrupt the flow and make it customer friendly.
Right. Lieutenant, patrolling an island like this is a little different than patrolling the other parks, right? I mean, are there some challenges to maintaining that in a way that you don't face Stony Creek, for example?
Well, the main unique challenge is there's only one entry point and exit point, but other than that, a lot of the activity is very similar to our other parks.
Yeah.
Our officers are able to adjust and adapt to just having the one entrance and exit. So.
What about at night? I know now they close the island down at dark, or at least really encourage people not to be at 10 p.m. Is that going to, it used to be that people would be out there all night. Are we going to go back to that, or does it make sense to get people off once it's dark?
Yeah, no, the park hours are from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., so when it was transitioned over to State Park, we started putting up a traffic control device at 10 o'clock at night, and it's there till 6 o'clock in the morning. There won't be any access to the park during the closed hours unless it's a permitted event.
Right. What kind of things would you say to Detroiters who are a little nervous about this? It's change, and change is always hard.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think our goal is that what everybody else wants is a clean, safe place to enjoy yourself, to have a great experience. Our mission is lifelong memories, and that's no different on Belle Isle than anywhere else. And we want everybody to have good time, good fun, in balance, so that what you do and I do can go on together. But if there are things that get out of sorts and affect other people's experiences. We need to
We can
keep
stop
those
it.
things in balance,
Yeah.
and that's why we're being consistent with law enforcement. So we want what everybody else wants, and we're trying to keep the traditions going, but yet we want to make progress.
Right. You know, you guys already manage Milliken State Park, which is just across the
That's
river.
correct.
Is there any sort of connectivity between the two that we'll realize?
Well, just conceptually, we're looking at this as a whole complex. Milliken, the Globe facility will
Right,
be open.
right.
And
Okay, that'll be state
And
managed,
the
right.
Riverfront Conservancies are a very good partner. So we're looking at this as a whole system, including the Quinder Cutter, the Governor's Trail.
Sure.
Is all right there. So we see this as a great opportunity to create the whole riverfront as one system.
Right,
and
which
seamless.
would be the first time in my life that was true. I mean,
Yes.
we haven't had that kind of waterfront access on both sides
Yes.
of the river. All right, great to have you guys here, and good luck on the island.
Well, thank you very much.
That's our program for today. Thanks for watching. You can get more information about our guests at AmericanBlackJournal.org, and as always, connect with us on Facebook and on Twitter. We'll see you next time on American Black Journal.
Eric wants to know.
What does DTE Energy do to make Michigan a better place?
Rodney can tell you.
We do a lot, like youth education and employment programs. We fund over 500 jobs for youth all across the state. Many are neighborhood improvement projects just like this.
It's incredible.
Wow, that is fantastic. So this is like a paint by number, this whole thing, right? Communities are such great places, aren't they?
They sure are.
Love the siding. Measure once, cut twice, right? DTE Energy. Know your own power.